In this video, I want to show you one of the most common mistakes that students make when they have to graph a problem like this. And I'm telling you, it is a very common mistake. Even when I'm going from algebra to pre-calculus to calculus, students continuously make this mistake. So please make sure you pay attention to this video and make sure if you have any questions, comment down below. Because constantly, whenever we're going over a problem like this, we'll always go ahead and I'll do like, a little question and kind of see a poll. And students always get this wrong. They get it mistaken. So in this case, I have f of x equals the absolute value of 2 minus x. And I'll say, ladies and gentlemen, what are the transformations? Now, some students recognize, well, if we want to identify the transformations, we need to go ahead and rearrange the x and the 2. And then the most common answer is, oh, that's a plus 2. So therefore, Ms. McLogan, that's going to be shifting 2 units to the left. They're like, oh, I kind of remember that, like the opposite sign. And that is incorrect. Because the reason being is when we're identifying the transformations of an absolute value or any really function, and we have a coefficient of our x as well as a horizontal shift, we have to make sure it's in this form. All right, so a lot of times when we're first teaching transformations, we don't talk about the horizontal transformations because it is confusing and students get it wrong and they get confused. However, when you have a b and you have a c, you have to make sure you factor out that b, because then otherwise you do not properly represent the horizontal shift as well as that value b. So in this case, you can see, well, I have a b and I have a c, yes, but it's not factored out. So we have to factor out this -1. So what I mean is it has to be written like this. Because if you were to plug this into your calculator, and again, if you don't believe me, ladies and gentlemen, go in your calculator or go online, type this into the graphing calculator, and guess what? Yes, you're going to have a reflection about the y-axis, which for a graph that is symmetrical about the y-axis is not really going to change anything. But then over here, you're going to have be a shift 2 units to the right, not 2 units to the left, which a lot of students will think when they see the +2, right? They think, oh yeah, +2, that means shifting 2 units to the left. No, 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 it's 2 units to the right. And again, sometimes students even still are like, well, why is it going to the right when it's a negative? Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's not really a negative. It is a negative, like -2, but again, the formula is x minus c. X minus c. C is equal to 2. That means 2 units to the right. Now, let's go and take a look at what this graph actually would look like. Again, thankfully, this horizontal reflection is not going to matter because the V-shaped graph is symmetrical about the y-axis. So if I reflect about the x-axis, yeah, it's going to be pointed down. But when you reflect this about the y-axis, it's preserved. It's the exact same graph. But now all I simply need to do is shift it 2 units to the right. Now we have graph it. So just make sure, do not make the most common mistake. When you have a B and you have a C, make sure you factor out the B to properly understand what the correct horizontal shift is.